Hello from Washington, President JB here. Whenever Jill and I leave in our car, we tune in to our guy, Mike King Biz, on ESPN Radio.
I enjoy listening to On the Mic with Mike every day. That's what I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. Mike King here at the Mike King Biz studio. Hey, I got the man in the building. All right, so I got the one and only Floyd MBL of Metropolitan Business League. I'm here. I'm cutting out all the stuff and getting right to it. Shout out to our man Bam is out there. Hey Bam, see look who I got in studio. That's right, I got the man in here. Welcome to the program, sir.
Well, thank you for having me.
All righty, so tell folks here on what you do, and then we're gonna get into it.
Well, first of all, I'm the president and CEO of the Metropolitan Business League, and I've been in that position for over 7 years now. I have an extensive background in nonprofit management. I spent 17 years with Special Olympics Virginia, and so I'm just excited about the direction of the organization at this point.
I'd always ask people out there, and my dad would always say, and I know, change the world ain't cheap, easy, or free. Money got to change hands somewhere. How do we find the next generation of people who want to go to the side for Special Olympics or the nonprofit world? How do we find them?
You know, that's a good question. I think some of the colleges, the local universities, they've done a really good job of exposing individuals that are interested in nonprofit management. You have places like the Community Foundation that offer courses on how to be managers in nonprofit organizations. And so I think, really Virginia has done a really good job of finding a pipeline of leaders in that area.
What was the draw for you right off the bat? What school did you go to?
I went to undergrad Virginia Commonwealth University.
Okay, so you went to, where'd you go to VCU to study?
Criminal justice,
Okay,
actually.
so what happened, sir? That when you, what happened?
You know, I was all geared up to go work for the FBI.
Okay.
I actually was hired by the DEA, and I was out playing basketball, and I ruptured my Achilles tendon. And so I wasn't able to go through the training. And so at that time, I decided to go back to college. I got my master's in education. And I was working in law enforcement. I worked with the Richmond Commonwealth Attorney's Office for a while. I worked with the Department of Corrections, Henrico Sheriff's Department. And I really just got tired of being in a position that didn't allow me to be more proactive versus reactive. And so, working in nonprofit has allowed me to do that.
So when you got to the nonprofit world, when do you know that was your home, that you found a place?
That's a great question. I think I've always been a person that really liked giving back. One of my favorite quotes is by Gandhi: the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And so I've always been a very giving person. There's no feeling when you can help someone, and I think that's what working in nonprofit is all about.
Hey, shout out to Sherelle. Sherelle is out there with the Sherelle's Naturals. Congratulations on everything that you're doing. I'd like you said, hey, Mr. Floyd, how you doing out there? All righty, so when I got to Richmond, they told me there's a young guy I got to meet, Floyd Miller, who's out there really doing some amazing things. So you go to MBL. How do you put your stamp on the Metropolitan Business League, and how do you set a culture that's winning?
Well, the MBL had a very long history, and my predecessor, Mr. Singleton, Oliver Singleton, the late and great Mr. Oliver Singleton, he did an amazing job supporting minority-owned businesses. But I think it was all about timing. I think Richmond was looking for something new and innovative, and I think that's really what I tried to do when I stepped into the role, to try to find something that was new, innovative, and just kind of step outside the box.
So I got Mr. Floyd Miller here, the MBL. How can people get information about MBL?
Oh, you can always just go to our website, peruse our website at www.thembl.org.
So people know you're Richmond, doing a lot of great things in Richmond. I go to Brunswick. You guys are in Brunswick. They're like, yo, MBL is down here. It's giving out checks like Oprah. You get some money, and you get a check, and you get a check. Shelby was down there, and and it was a really great place. How did you guys determine that Brunswick was the place?
You know, I have to give a lot of credit to Michael White, my vice president of development. I think he understood the importance of us really expanding in the Brunswick area, and so I kind of followed his lead in that regard. But we really wanted to have a presence throughout the state of Virginia.
Okay. Now the next step, going to the 757.
Yeah.
How did you determine that was the area instead of going, say, the other way?
Well, you know, since the pandemic, we've really tried to have a presence in, you know, throughout the state of Virginia.
Okay.
The pandemic really sped up that process, and so we want, you know, when I came on board, I knew that I wanted to offer more online courses for individuals that were more conducive to their schedules. So it wasn't that we just said, okay, Norfolk is the next area. We already had a presence throughout the state of Virginia.
And so, what did you learn? Okay, you just spoken of. What did you learn from the pandemic that you guys didn't do before? Now all of a sudden you say, "Man, we should have been doing that all along."
That's a good question. I mean, you know, we provide support to small women and minority-owned businesses, but we know that a lot of businesses struggle in many different ways, and access to capital is something that a lot of businesses struggle with. And so that was something that I had reached out to my board early on and said, hey, we want to try to find ways to give capital for businesses, because we know 42% of businesses fail due to the lack of cash flow and capital. And so at that particular time, you know, you had the PPP programs, you had the SBA EIDL loan programs, and so we were able to help businesses with providing opportunities in funding and loans. And so, you know, it just made sense for us to really try to develop the infrastructure to have a program like that.
Well, Mike King here. I got the man. So when he walks in the door, this is what's playing.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
Mike King, this ESPN. All right, so yes, Floyd Miller's here. MBL is out there really doing some amazing things. When Bam was here, Michael White was here a couple weeks ago, he talked about the loans. And really, the part for the loan says that you guys are helping people out there really make a difference. And they may not get any love from other locations. Mm-hmm. When they go into a bank, they might not get, they're not going to feel a love. But they feel a love at the MBL. Talk about when people show up to your door, what it is, the help that you're able to offer them.
Well, again, we wanted to create an opportunity after the pandemic because there were a lot of grant programs out there. We knew that a lot of businesses were struggling with access to capital, and so we developed the Capital Access Program. It's a portfolio of different types of funding, and so it's funding for startup businesses as well as existing businesses. And it's a model program throughout the country because we have non-traditional funding that we provide, whether it's grants or microloans. We are the only Kiva hub in the state of Virginia. That's an international crowdfunding program.
Because you got the Kiva lady. She's the expert.
That is correct.
And she's, you know what, and the thing is, no matter where she gives the speech at, talking about Kiva, there's a person in there going, that was the thing. I always had a question about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's been out there for a while, but a lot of folks don't know about it.
Do you think that people are kind of scared off with it?
No, I think people are afraid of things that they don't know about, and it's our job to educate them on the process, and that's what Sharon does a wonderful job with.
She's out there really letting people know what's happening as far as Kiva goes. Okay, a couple big things happening for you guys, and it's sort of on the same day.
Yeah,
it is on the same day.
And that was intentional.
Well, there you go. So we're kicking off in the morning. It is the Incredible Men's Breakfast. So when Bam was here a couple weeks ago, he explained a lot of things that are out there for women. You guys throw some big time women's events. You do. They're big.
Thank you.
They're big. And so he's looking around and saying, okay, what's happening with the men? Now we're going to do the Incredible Men's Breakfast.
Yeah, it's a great event. It's our second season doing this. It's a time for us to bring awareness during Men's Health Month. And I also found out that it's also Men's Business Month.
Really?
That is correct. And so we're celebrating two special times during this event, all for a good cause to raise funds for our youth entrepreneurship program.
And you got them. If there's ever a person who's there to raise money for entrepreneurship, it's the man BK.
Yeah.
In the morning. So we're there. He's like the Renaissance man. You know, he's just like he has his hands in a number of different things, but all of it is uplifting the community, uplifting people. And like you said, it goes back to your entrepreneurship program for the young folks.
That is.
I mean, you guys. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta get to Alexa about the Shark Tank people coming on the program.
That would be great.
She's
yes.
You know, when you look at your staff right there, your staff gets it done. I mean, they are, and it's the way they operate, which is really cool.
Yeah, you know, when I came on board, we had 2 employees. It was myself and Allison Hunter, who was actually an administrative assistant, and she was part-time. And in 6 years, we've grown our staff to 20 people.
You got 20 people?
We have 20 people throughout the state of Virginia. And, you know, it was, I handpicked a lot of folks. I asked Micah.
Well, we've had the conversation about that. Because I said to him, Bam, how many times was Floyd? And he said, yeah. He said, he saw something. You saw something in him that he would find a home there.
Yeah.
And so after the incredible men's breakfast, which is on the
13th.
The 13th.
June 13th.
Okay, and that's in the morning. Then you guys are going to kick off the golf tournament.
Yes.
You play?
You know, I play at it.
So you're not like Bam?
I'm not nowhere close to Bam.
No,
I'm great on the first 9 holes.
And then you
after
struggle?
that, I lose interest.
You're out there making deals, talking, taking it to another level. Alrighty, so what can people expect with the golf tournament?
You know, we have a very diverse group of individuals that are going to be playing. It's a lot of professional men and women that are committed to the cause of us raising funds for our youth entrepreneurship program. It's at a beautiful golf course. I think one of the best golf courses in Virginia, Independence. And under Micah's leadership, he's done a great job with this.
So you guys are growing that. This is the second year for the men's breakfast. Is it the second year for the golf tournament as well?
Second year, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're coming back again, and those are to support the Metropolitan Business League. What's new? What's besides those 2 things? What's something that's on the horizon for you guys? Oh, wait. Let's go over to the grand opening over in the 757. Going over there, what can people expect over in that area?
Well, as I mentioned, we've had a presence in the Tidewater, they call it Hampton Roads area now. We've been working very closely with a lot of the municipalities as far as increasing procurement opportunities for our businesses. We work very closely with one of our corporate members that handled the Hampton Roads Tunnel expansion. That's a huge contract that we've been able to get some of our members procurement opportunities. And so this is just an expansion of what we started. We wanted to physically have a presence there, and we're expanding our capital access hub in that area at the Assembly Building through our collaboration with 757 Collab.
How do you, there's a bunch of, not a bunch, but there are a number of organizations out there that dibble at this and dibble and dabble in that. How do you set the lane for MBL? For what you guys are doing, and then you straight up run with that one, and you're out there really doing really big things?
It's a good question. You know, when I came on board, I said I wanted to focus on 3 things to really expand the organization. And the first was increase our visibility. I think we've done an amazing job with that. The second was to produce bigger outcomes. And the third was to focus on our mission statement. And I think that's really what differentiates us from a lot of other local chambers. We really focus on 3 areas, one being education, increased procurement opportunities, and access to capital. And I think when we do that, we focus on those 3 things. They all align with each other to help businesses sustain.
All right, we'd like to thank Mr. Floyd Miller. So, a shout out to Katina Downey over at the NES Cornhole Lounge. My grandkids say, yeah, I hope the place, is still standing. We had a great time. Really, she was out there the other day helping folks get the grant for the Comcast Rise, which you guys NBL's name is all over everything.
Increase our visibility. That's what it's all about.
That's what we're doing. Joy Folks, thanks. Mr. Filton Noel out there really doing some big things. So on the mic, Mike, Mr. Miller's here. How can people get information one last time about you, sir?
You know, I'm very good with giving out my personal number. You can reach me on my cell at 804-339-9972. Or you can reach us at our office at 804-649-7473. And of course, you can always peruse the website at www.thembl.org.
So you are famous. So you're the power couple in town here. You and the missus. Yes.
She's the.
Yes. Y'all got it going on. So a couple years ago, I asked her. We were on a panel, and I asked her there was a special place for a nonprofit that she truly cared about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a panel full of people. Everybody knew what was coming.
And she didn't say the MBL?
No, sir, she did not.
I didn't think so.
She said girls for a change.
She's very passionate.
And yes, she is. And we're like, we teed it up for you. I was expecting the MBL.
Yeah. Well, but she's been a big supporter of mine, and she's a member of the organization as well.
So talk about from that standpoint, when you see like the evolution of her brand. Like I said, you don't see what you're doing because you're in the moment. Talk about the evolution of her brand and how it's viewed from the outside when people, because I know how people view it from where I stand, where I look. It's an outstanding organization. The way she does business, it's just outstanding. Talk about when people talk to you, and how often do people try and go to you to get to your wife? I'm just trying to say so.
A lot of folks don't really know that she's my wife. I think she does a really good job of making sure that, she doesn't want favors just because.
But you are at everything.
Yeah. But she does a really good job of making sure that she can, not really try to use my position to get
to make things happen.
Yeah.
What's real quickly on the way out? Let's talk about the business climate here in Richmond now. How do you see it when people talk to you from other places?
I think we're ahead of the game in a lot of things. When we go through I participate with the Chamber Intercity Tour, and when we go out to different states and look at what other cities are doing, I think we're ahead of the curve. I think we're doing a lot of things that other areas are doing, and I think we're doing it just as well. I do love the fact that, especially since the pandemic, it's been more collaborative. I think folks are starting to work together now because we know that it's hard to be in silo when it comes to supporting businesses. And so I think it's getting better now. The ecosystem has improved over the last couple of years. This entrepreneurial ecosystem that we're in, and I think the future looks bright.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor. I got the man in the building. Mr. Floyd Miller, MBL, is here. So in June, we're going to do the Incredible Men's Breakfast. I'm going to be on stage talking to Mr. B.K. Fulton, and he's offering insight into everything. He was just here a couple of days ago talking about a project that he's working on, he's supporting, which is Toxic with Cinnamon Brown. He's a big supporter of the MBL as well as what I do. And what these guys are doing is amazing. So we got to run. This man has appointments and meetings, big time stuff he has to do. Shout out to his team out there. Always, your team is always, putting you guys first and keeping MBL's name out there. On the mic is Mike. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Now take care.